Would it be too hard to get this camera up onto this top platform? Because there are people all up on the railing and I'm missing like a lot of the finish shot. What's that? camera. It's good.
Freestyle over 3 heats. pool is now open for 15 minutes for warm-up.
Well, you said there's one kid from your high school who's like really cocky or something.
I was getting fights on Tufts aprons.
Oh god, that's cringe.
Yeah.
No, there's one girl from my high school here. She only moved here like in the middle of my freshman year of high school, I think. She's pretty nice, but she's also like
all the kids who go to Boulder are just like partying.
yeah, it was like a Sunday night. We were studying for like the calc midterm. Here's what describes me.
You're gonna cheer these guys on.
This is the best race.
Honestly, that's kind of fun though. Do you know what he races?
What the fuck is this? I actually don't know. I have the new mobile app though. So, yeah.
Too bad he missed the debate.
Oh yeah. We were doing the commentary and I saw him right on there. I mentioned that except like the audio's not working at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, we're really sorry for the issues. We're trying our best. We're really sorry for the issues. We're trying our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
We're
Bernie
really
Bros
sorry
is
for
not
the
the same
issues.
thing
We're
as
trying our
Jamie.
best.
Yeah.
But we're not being mobile. We're just streaming the game. But we can't get it.
Yeah, I don't think we control Meet Mobile or anything. So. Yeah, so I guess that was the mom of the swimmer that I recognized.
Alright, guys.
Yeah.
For some reason, my computer is not connecting to the stream, so I don't think that's going to be an option.
Okay.
So if you want, you can just head out.
Okay.
I'll just count everything out. That's what that is.
We got credit though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100 flat. Oh yeah, 100 flat. do you guys know each other?
We are live. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. We didn't get any commentary for that roughly first half of the swim meet.
But we would like to welcome you to Cousins Gymnasium today to watch this swim meet, this dual meet between Tufts and Wheaton College. So far, Tufts is pretty dominating, winning most of the women's and men's events so far. And one performance we'd like to point out is Suki Evans in the 200s women's butterfly with the pretty insane comeback, if I do say so myself, to end up winning her heat and scoring 9 points for the bows.
All right, so we just finished this small break here, and we're going to jump right into the women's 100-yard freestyle.
And for this 100-yard freestyle, we do have 3 heats. In this first heat, for the bows, we have in lane 2, that's going to be the second on your right, Emma Seymour, Allison Kramer, and Jackie Crater. And for Wheaton, starting from lane 1 on your right, Emma Lenskold, Holly Cohen, and Maddie Lambert. So, Ethan, what are you looking for today with the bows?
We just want to see them continue their dominant performances that they've had against some other Division III schools. As we know, they've been very strong. They beat Boston College last week.
They did. That was a good win for the Jumbos, and here they are off.
Can you turn the volume down just a little bit? And then Sam.
As we are getting off to a good start from the bows here, as we have a just about tie between lane 2 and 4. As Allison Kramer getting off to an early lead here with Emma Seymour chasing behind. Not discount Jackie Crater in lane 6, but that is 1, 2, 3 for the Jumbos right now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, excuse me.
It looks like the Jumbos are definitely going to lock up those first 3 places for the first heat. Now we have in lane 5 Tufts finishes, and now Wheaton in lanes 1 and 3 getting 5th and 6th.
That's going to be lane 4, Allison Kramer for the win. Jackie Crater for 2nd. Emma Seymour for 3rd. And for Wheaton, we have Maddie Lambert in 4th. And Holly Cohen in 5th, and Emma Lenskold in lane 1 in 6th place today. But for these Jumbos, I think you're just going to try and focus on that domination that they've really been doing so far. We've seen a win in almost every single event for the bows today. Just a great showing. Love to see all the fans here. But Wheaton is not mathematically out of it yet. They do have to swim pretty well to end up winning, but we have seen them gain a couple wins and some points on the non-freestyle events, especially the butterfly and breaststroke.
All right, as we are about to begin heat 2 of 3 of the women's 100-yard freestyle. From Wheaton in lane 1, we have the freshman Taylor Kudo. In lane 3, senior Shannon Connolly, who went to my high school in Farmington, Connecticut. In lane 5, Emma Flesher, a sophomore. And for Tufts, we have in lane 2, Emily Payne. In lane 4, freshman Elle Morse. And in lane 6, the freshman Allison Brea. And they're off.
And that's going to be a pretty good underwater section for Ella Morse. Only a freshman, but looking to do pretty well here today. It's good off the turn.
going into the third lap, the second half of the race, we have Ella Morse in the lead.
Emily Payne in second. And Allison Brea currently in third.
Again, all jumbos.
And for the win, that is going to be freshman Ella Morse with a 55.1. Coming in second is Emily Payne, a sophomore from Tufts, with a 56.93. And third, we have Allison Brea, another freshman, with a 57.32.
So after this, and from Tufts, we have in lane 2, Claire Brennan.
In lane 4, Caitlin Isakov. And in lane 6, we have Hannah Spencer. And what you're going to see here to focus on is Caitlin Isakov, lane 4, currently winning. She's normally a distance swimmer, and she did very well in the 1,000-yard freestyle earlier today. But when she drops to something shorter like this, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if she can carry the momentum, and it's like she's doing that.
Yes, Jumbo's in the top 2 places in lanes 2 and 4, and it's very close in the bottom 4 spots. It looks like Wheaton is grabbing that third place. We see Isakov finish in first, and followed by the swimmers in lane 2, 3, and the others closely behind.
In lane 2, that's going to be Claire Brennan for second place. For third, it's going to be Delia McLaughlin from Wheaton. And then in fourth place, we have Hannah Spencer from Tufts. So that is a 1-2-4 finish for Tufts today.
Very highly contested final heat.
Yeah, and one of those things is you can just see the swimmers at the end of the pool just cheering on their teammates, just getting them energized and excited to race. It's great to see. And now we are moving on to the men's 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1, we have Greg Callahan, the senior from Tufts. In lane 2, Noah Zhang from Tufts. In lane 3, Riley Glues. Lane 4, Otto Lasco. In lane 5, JJ Bart. And in 6, Lomax Turner. And here they are off.
Very close to start with, but it looks like the swimmers in lanes 2 and 4 got off the wall the fastest. Currently,
that's going to be Noah Zhang and Otto Lasco.
There is only one Wheaton swimmer in the race, but they are behind 5 jumbos.
And it looks like it's going to be Noah Zhang here for the win, and Otto Lasco coming in second place. And in third, we have Lomax Turner. Now moving on to the second heat of this men 100-yard freestyle. It's a predicted Tufts win, as they have done pretty well in winning all of the previous freestyle events, I believe. As well as having Roger Ju, who was the NESCAC Swimmer of the Week, I believe, last week. And also did well in the win over Boston College on Tuesday. He will be in lane 4. As for the rest of the race, we have Noah Kaplan in lane 1, Nate Tingen in Lane 2, Dalwin Corsino in lane 3, Willem Garneau in lane 5, and Taylor Tatro in lane 6.
So immediately we're seeing Roger Gu get out to that lead. He's the first one off the wall. And he's followed in lane 2 by Nate Tingen.
Yeah, Roger Gu, the senior, you could really see him do well here.
Currently, all jumbos on the podium again. Roger Gu with that substantial lead. Off the final turn, big lead for Roger.
And it looks like Roger will take the win here in a little under.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry for that audio interruption there.
So it looks like our finishers were in first place, Roger Gu with a 44.96. In second place, Nate Tingen with a 47.53. And in third place, also from Tufts, with a 48.87. In lane 6, Tyler Tatro.
And now, after that, we have the women's 200-yard backstroke. It's going to be a close race here.
Only one heat.
And in this race, we do have another Tufts captain, Grace Gauthier. I'm sorry if I butchered that. But you're going to look for some veteran experience here and to hopefully lead Jumbos to victory today.
In a one heat race, it's going to be highly contested. In lane 1, we have Jessica Love from Wheaton. In lane 2, Emma Donchi from Tufts. In lane 3, Madeline Eller from Wheaton. In lane 4, the captain, as we said, Grace Gauthier from Tufts. In lane 5, Julia Santola from Wheaton. And in lane 6, the freshman Tori Atkinson from Tufts. A very close race to start with. We're seeing the captain pull out to a narrow lead as we move into the turn.
And in a race like the 200 backstroke, that's a lead you can gain back for sure. But she does appear to be gaining on the rest of the field here. But there is a very close race for second place here, as we have 3 swimmers tied currently.
It looks like Gauthier has about over a full body length of space. Pretty comfortable lead, but as we said, it is possible to come back in these types of races. We are just over halfway through for the leaders in the field.
And it looks like in lane 2, Emma Dochny, the sophomore from Tufts, did well there to stay underwater longer than the Wheaton swimmer did. Madeline Eller to just barely edge her out and is now approximately a half stroke to a 1-stroke lead right now, but is gaining on her as the race goes on.
It looks like as we head into this final 50 yards that Gauthier has the first place locked up, but it is a tight race for second place as we look at lanes 2 and 3.
And as you can see on your screens, it appears that Emma Dochny is going to take this second place, but we're going to see what happens in this final 25 yards. But with your win, that's going to be Captain Grace Gauthier
with a 2:09.21, and she is followed by Emma Donchi in lane 2 with a 2:12, and in lane 3 from Wheaton, Madeline Eller with a 2:15.09.
And after that exciting race, we have the men's 200-yard backstroke, only one heat today. And we are looking to see freshman Joshua Balvey, the favorite here in this race, see what he can do today.
In lane 1 from Wheaton, we have Carter Wilhite. In lane 2, Connor Doyle from Tufts. Lane 3, Colton Parkinson from Wheaton. In lane 4, Joshua Balby from Tufts. In lane 5, Trevor Ragas from Wheaton. And in lane 6, John Laline from Tufts.
As they get ready to start.
Let's see who comes up first.
And you could see just how long those tough swimmers stayed underwater. It's definitely working to their advantage here as they both get off to the lead.
Yeah, Joshua Balby, the current leader in lane 4, was
Sorry for that audio interruption.
But yeah, we have Joshua Balby in lane 4 with a solid lead over Wheaton, closely followed in lane 2 by Connor Doyle.
Joshua Balby, again, only a freshman, but is doing well here to win. But Connor Doyle in lane 2, possibly catching up here, as he is able to stay underwater and really use that increased efficiency to his advantage.
It looks like while the Jumbos have a strong hold on first and second place, Wheaton has a strong hold on third place, as there are 2 swimmers ahead of the Jumbo swimmer in 5th place, John Laline in lane 6.
And for third place currently, you have Colton Parkinson, the best swimmer for Wheaton today, another freshman. So you have a freshman-on-freshman battle here. And for fourth place, you have a very close battle in lanes 5 and 6 between Trevor Regis and John Laline.
Very evenly matched there.
Almost stroke for stroke here.
And it looks like Joshua Balby in lane 4 has come in first place with a 1:59.58, breaking that 2 minutes. And in lane 2, we have Connor Doyle getting a 2:02.14. In lane 3 with a time of 2:05.57, that freshman from Wheaton, Colton Parkinson.
It does appear that in basically every counting race, every scoring race, that the Jumbos have at least 2 out of 3 of the podium spots here. And usually 3 out of 4 of the top 4. So you're just seeing complete domination from the Jumbos today over Wheaton, Mass. But next we have the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Which has 1 heat. You are most likely looking for lane 4, Lily Kurtz, the junior from Tufts, who has done pretty well this season.
Again, this is a race where streamline is important. Staying under the water will get a lot of power.
As you can see, almost all the swimmers stayed underwater past that halfway line. It appears that lane 2, that will be Caitlin Ulmer, is currently in the lead here. The freshman from Tufts.
Still not a lot of separation from the first 2 places. It looks like in second place in lane 4, Lily Kurtz is slightly edging out the Wheaton swimmer in lane 3, Brooke Cloutier, while Caitlin Ulmer has a tiny bit of a lead in first place in lane 2.
And the race for third here is getting very close, both roughly within a stroke of each other. which will be Liz Sutton from Tufts and Brooke Cloutier from Wheaton, both freshmen.
It looks like while it was closer before, Lily Kurtz has increased her lead on the third place swimmer from Wheaton in lane 3.
And for third, Liz Sutton appears to be increasing her lead over Brooke Cloutier. So something you'll hear in the breaststroke is every time the swimmer puts their head above the water, the swimmers on the side will make some kind of noise. And it's definitely one of the more quirky aspects of the breaststroke and the swimming community.
As we head into the final 50, Tufts have really established their lead here. And it looks like even in lane 6, we will look to take third place, as it appears that Liz Sutton has overtaken the Wheaton swimmer in lane 3, who was once really close to being in second place. First and second place all but locked up, but there's a tight race for third between Cloutier and Sutton.
Looks like Sutton will just barely get that third place, with fourth place going to Brooke Cloutier, who still gets points, but every point counts here in these dual meets sometimes.
So the results here: in first place in lane 2, Caitlin Ulmer with a time of 2:29.06. In second place in lane 4, Lily Kurtz with a time of 2:30.85. And again, another tough swimmer in lanes. Oh, they might have messed up the times on the board, because I think the swimmer in lane 6 beat out the swimmer in lane 3. Our apologies for that.
And our next event here will be the men's 200-yard breaststroke.
Stadium getting loud here. In lane 1, Chet Vogt from Wheaton. In lane 2, Quan Lee from Tufts. In lane 3, Richard Matthews from Wheaton. In lane 4, Lucas Ayu from Tufts. In lane 5, Cam Labry from Wheaton. In lane 6, Matthew Manfrey from Tufts. And they're off. Highly contested on the first lap. Not really seeing any leaders emerge yet.
It's just going to be about who can stay under the water the fastest. But it appears that lane 4, Luke Isayu, has a slight lead over the rest of the field, but lane 2, Quan Lee, the junior from Tufts, does appear to have a slight lead based off that turn.
Highly contested battle for both first and second place, although it does look like Quan Lee has that hold on first place, but not even by a full body length. As we finish up the first half of this race, another 100 meters to go. The turn's really separating the crowd here, as leaders are beginning to emerge with those fast turns off the wall.
They say that races are won and lost in the turns, and we're definitely seeing that here, as this distance between the swimmers appears to stay the same during the real swimming parts, but on the turns you could just see how much Tufts is increasing their lead here. And in third place for Wheaton here, you have Richard Matthews, the sophomore.
Tight race for third place, as in lane 6, senior Matthew Manfrey is closing in on that Wheaton swimmer in lane 3. Well, also, Wheaton has overtaken Tufts for second place as Richard Matthews made a great push at the end there and closed in on second place.
Oh, yes, Matthew Manfrey actually will get second place here to come back from behind and get that second place, while third place goes to Richard Matthews, the sophomore from Wheaton. But first place today in the men's 200-yard breaststroke goes to Luke ICU, the freshman from Tufts. It's always great to see these freshmen coming right out of high school and being able to succeed in college.
With a time of 2:57 there. And in second place in lane 6, the senior Matthew Manfrey with a time of 2:18.32. In third place from Wheaton, who made that push at the end, Richard Matthews with a time of 2:18.43. While Quan Lee, who we saw in first place, ended up dropping down to fourth with a time of 2:25.38.
So, Ethan, you did swimming in high school, correct?
Yes.
So, one thing I was wondering about is why they have the lifeguard at the side of the pool here, who is looking very attentive in case there's any kind of drowning. Have you ever seen the lifeguard jump in the pool during a swim meet?
I have never.
I hope we don't have to see one today, but it's always a strange sight.
At least on deck, I can guarantee you there are a lot of certified lifeguards who would be willing to help out in case of an emergency. Okay, so we are about to begin the women's 500-yard freestyle. In lane 1 from Wheaton, Carolyn Genther. In lane 2 from Tufts, Amy Socha. In lane 3 from Wheaton, Lydia DeCourt. In lane 4 from Tufts, Mary Hufziger. In lane 5 from Wheaton, Delia McLaughlin. And in lane 6, the senior from Tufts, Hannah Treslow.
Yeah, in lane 6, Hannah Treslow, another captain here, so we were looking to see that veteran experience and see if she can help get the win here. Of course, the higher seeded swimmers are, of course, in lanes 3 and 4 typically, but you can see an occasional win from lane 6.
Pretty even off that turn. It looks like in lane 2 we have an early leader, Amy Socha from Tufts, and a highly contested battle for second place in lanes 3 and 4, Lydia DeCourt and Mary Hufziger.
So this race is 20 laps of this pool, the second longest race today, of course, besides the 1,000-yarder. And you were definitely looking for some of these swimmers to try and conserve a little bit when they're racing, not to just swim all out the first few laps and then die in the rest of them.
We saw DeCourt get second place in the women's 1,000-yard freestyle. She is again swimming in this long-distance event while Tufts is going with a different set of swimmers. So maybe there you can see rest being a factor, since DeCourt already had to endure a very long event in the 1,000.
Absolutely. As a swimmer, you're always annoyed when you have to do 2 or 3 events every meet.
Yeah, as my high school coach once said, it's all part of the meet. You got to learn to swim when you're tired. And it looks like DeCourt may have a slight lead. It's a very close battle at the top between lanes 2 through 4.
And it appears that she does have a slight lead. But all of the swimmers are within half a second. But the battle for first specifically is within a little more than 1/10 of a second between Lydia DeCourt and Mary Hufziger.
DeCourt and Hufziger matching each other almost stroke for stroke as Amy Socha is very close behind.
And now approximately halfway through the race, we still have that top three just swimming with each other. And we do have a close battle for fourth in lanes 5 and 6 between Delia McLaughlin and Hannah Truslow. And I'm sure, as you can hear, you have the fan base cheering and everybody just making a ton of noise to support these swimmers during these longer events.
This support is going to be necessary for this long haul, as there really is no separation between DeCourt and Hufziger thus far. It looks like Hufziger might be edging out DeCourt at the moment, but they're matching each other stroke for stroke. It's incredible. Off the turn, it looks like DeCourt may have a slight edge, but they are continuing to push. No leader in sight here. Going to be very interesting as we move into this final quarter of the race.
And unfortunately, in lane 2, Amy Socha is dropping back a little bit between these front three. And for that battle for fourth, Delia McLaughlin does appear to have a slight lead. But Hannah Truslow, the senior, has the support of the entire Jumbo's team right now as they're cheering her on, trying to get back that fourth place, because every point counts here in these dual meets.
The crowd getting louder and louder as the leaders approach the final 50 of this 500. We hear the whistle go, and DeCourt and Hufziger made the turn at the same time. It's come down to the final 50 here.
As everybody here is cheering these swimmers on.
It looks like Hufziger made the turn first. The crowd getting louder and louder here.
Hufziger has a half-stroke lead. Oh, it's down to the wire. And Hufziger wins it!
By such fine margins, by 0.09 of a second there. Hufziger in lane 4 gets the win with a 5:14.57.
Over Lydia DeCourt of Wheaton.
With a time of 5:14.66.
And for third place, Delia McLaughlin was able to hold on to her lead and beat Hannah Truslow.
Well-deserved cool-down lap for these first and second place finishers. It was a tight race the whole way.
Yeah, unfortunately for some of these distance swims, sometimes the leader just starts winning early and never looks back, but it's always great to watch some of these closer swims. As both the Jumbos and Wheaton are getting very excited for this next race. As you can hear the Bows chanting today, trying to support their fellow swimmers. Of course, the Jumbos over spring break winter break, went to Florida for a training trip, just trying to get those yards in.
Hopefully down the final stretch of the season, which really began last week against Boston College, we're going to see increased performances by the Jumbos. In lane 1 from Tufts, we have Ethan Webster. In lane 2 from Tufts, Nathan Mitchell. In lane 3 from Wheaton, William Garneau. In lane 4 from Tufts, Alexander Burnham. In lane 5 from Wheaton, Austin Halstead. And in lane 6 from Tufts, Trevor Sermon. As we're actually seeing a lead from lane 1 first, Ethan Webster, as we finish the first 50 yards of this race. very interesting, but he'll need to conserve his energy down the stretch. Not sure if he'll want to jump out to that early lead.
Sometimes the excitement of the meet can make you go a little faster too early on and end up dying, but these Tufts swimmers are relatively experienced, of course winning the NESCAC champions in 2018.
Ethan Webster out to a very large lead there in lane 1. You see the number holder getting very excited for him as he continues to push hard. We'll see if he can keep it up.
But the race for second here is shaping up. It appears that lane 4, Alexander Burnham has a slight lead, the senior, followed by William Garneau in third and Nathan Mitchell in fourth. But over the race like the 500-yarder, anything can happen. As you can watch as Alexander Burnham in lane 4 just stretches out the second place lead here.
In lane 3, William Garneau trying to hold on to that third place, but it looks like he has been overtaken in lane 2 by Nathan Mitchell, the junior from Tufts.
Something, of course, that isn't as important as some of the other races, of course, in the freestyle is how much time you could spend underwater after that turn. However, turns are pretty important. As you see, the Jumbos, I don't know if they practiced their turns more over winter break, but they seem to be doing well.
We're over the halfway point here, and Ethan Webster still has a pretty strong lead, although it looks like it is decreasing with Alexander Burnham in lane 4 coming close.
Burnham Knight is almost getting a comeback here on lap 12, excuse me, turning into 13. As they are almost neck and neck here, and you almost see Burnham leading currently.
Jumbo's currently making up the podium with Nathan Mitchell having a full body lead in third place in lane 2.
Burnham, the senior here, you can see just how much experience can matter in this, knowing how hard to go out, how hard to conserve. And it's really paying off for him here. And you have to imagine that Ethan Webster right now is hurting and wishing he probably didn't go out as hard as he did. But we only have 4 laps left in this race. As for the second to last turn, you have Alexander Burnham, the senior from Tufts.
Mitchell certainly gaining on Webster as we approach this final 50.
Not to forget about lane 6, the captain, Trevor Sermon. You can see just how much fan support he has from his Bose teammates, as that you can see him cheering him on. But now we have this final turn for the rest of the field, as that will be Alexander Burnham for the lead.
Alexander Burnham takes the win with a time of 4:54.02. In lane 2, Nathan Mitchell gets second place with a time of 5 minutes, .88. And in third place in lane 1, Ethan Webster, who we saw jump out to that early lead for the entire first half of the race, getting a 5:04.37.
And our next event here, after that exciting 500-yard freestyle, is going to be the women's 100-yard butterfly. Of course, the butterfly is one of the most challenging and demanding strokes in swimming. And so we're looking to see a pretty exciting race here.
In this first heat, we're going to have from Wheaton, Hannah Lee in lane 1. In lane 2, Emma Van Duynhoven from Tufts. In lane 3 from Wheaton, Sophia Hatzikos. In lane 4 from Tufts, Emily Mendelson. In lane 5 from Wheaton, Eva Pett. And in lane 6, the junior from Tufts, Suki Evans.
Suki Evans, of course, with the fantastic comeback earlier today, and let's see what she can do here.
We're going to see who will jump out to that lead with the push off the wall. It looks like in lane 2 we have a leader, Emma Van Duynhoven from Tufts, the freshman.
But let's see what happens off this turn here. We know that Evans does have that kicking power at the end, but it's going to be a close finish between these two. As in third place, we have Emily Mendelson, the junior from Tufts.
The field's starting to separate themselves as it looks like the Jumbos are going to take the first 3 positions. In first place, we're going to have in lane 2 Emma Van Duynhoven with, I'm sorry. In first place from lane 6, actually, Suki Evans. I guess another big comeback there with a time of 1:01.67. In lane 2, second place, another tough swimmer, Emma Van Duynhoven, with a time of 1:01.89. And in third place in lane 4, the junior Emily Mendelson with a time of 1:03.29.
Yeah, it's always great to see those kind of comebacks. For those racers who may not necessarily start in the lead, but definitely end up in the lead by the end. Sometimes only by the thinnest of margins. But in Heat 2 of the women's 100-yard butterfly, in lane 1 we have Hope Campbell from Wheaton, Bella Pranetta, the freshman from Tufts, Chloe DeBuner, the junior from Wheaton, Mass, Hannah Lesser, the freshman from Tufts, Catherine Vitello, the senior from Wheaton, and Juliette Bichon from Tufts.
It looks like there is no swimmer in lane 3. Interesting.
But starting off the lead here, we have Hannah Lesser, only a freshman from Tufts.
Still not much telling who's in second, but it looks like in lane 2, Bella Pranetta is closing in on that. We'll see what happens after the turn. Still very close as we head into this second half of the race.
But that appears to be a great half of the race from Juliette, the sophomore from Tufts. She is just able to stand in the water for so long, but it looks like the winner here today is going to be lane 4, Hannah Lesser.
She does finish in first place in lane 4 with a time of 1:38. And she is followed in second place by Juliette Bichon with that great push at the end with a time of 1:02.49. And in third place in lane 5 from Wheaton, Catherine Vitello with a time of 1:02.70.
I believe that is another 1, 2, 3, finish for the Bows there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It does not appear to be that. Wheaton took third place.
My apologies.
Catherine Vitello with a time of 102.70 in lane 5 there, as Wheaton gets some points. And we move on to the men's 100-yard butterfly, heat 1 of 2. In lane 1, we have John Gilbert from Wheaton. In lane 2 from Tufts, Evan Sableski, the freshman. In lane 3, a freshman from Wheaton, Riley Gluz. A lot of freshmen in this. In lane 4, Peter LeBurge from Tufts. In lane 5, Evan Domingos from Wheaton. And in lane 6, another freshman, Drew Hollett from Tufts. And we see here Peter LeBarge getting a lead, although not one that's necessarily secure. Off the wall, it looks like in lane 2, Evan Sableski is closely following, but there is in lane 6 Drew Hollett. Lots of separation between the Tufts and Wheaton swimmers, as Tufts are going to probably claim these top 3 again.
And that appears to be the finish there for the win in 53 seconds, .11. We have in lane 4 Peter LeBarge. In second place, we have Evan Zableski. And in third place, also from Tufts, we have Drew Hollett, the freshman.
Evan there getting a time of 54.74, and Drew Hollett getting a time of 55.63.
And this next heat will be the last heat before a 10-minute break.
In lane 1 from Wheaton, we have Anthony Meglin. In lane 2 from Tufts, Nate Tingen, who we've seen perform strongly today. In lane 3 from Wheaton, Eli Stewart. In lane 4, Tartar Jeru Sinchai, who's had some strong performances this season. In lane 5, a freshman from Wheaton, Cam Labry. And in lane 6, a freshman from Tufts, Dylan Brown.
As Tartar off to a good start here. But lane 2 just staying underwater to the halfway point. That's Nate Tingen, who did well earlier today.
Lane 2 and 4 matching each other on that turn off the wall. Now matching each other stroke for stroke, it appears.
And it's all the race is gonna be decided by this turn. Who could stay underwater the longest, most likely. As Tartar, lane 4, looks to get the win here. And does in 52 seconds, .07. In second place, we will have Nate Tingen, the sophomore from Tufts. In third, another Tufts swimmer, we have Dylan Brown, the freshman.
Tartar with a time of 52.07. Nate Tingen with a time of 52.40. And Dylan Brown with a time of 53.39.
And now we will take a little break here from the broadcast. We'll be back.
And we're back. So here we are for what I believe is the final 4 events of today's race. Okay, so we ended there with the men's 100-yard butterfly, where Tufts, in their dominant fashion that they've really showed today, swept all 3 spots. Wait, did audio cut out? I think audio cut out.
Yeah.
Sorry for audio interruption if there has been any.
But here we have the 400-yard IM, where they do the different strokes. Starting with the women in lane 1, we have Leah Schulte. In lane 2 from Tufts, Chloe Davini. Lane 3, the senior from Wheaton, Mass, Erin Keene. Lane 4, the junior from Tufts, Abby Klaus. Lane 5, the junior from Wheaton, Nika Donnelly. And the freshman from Tufts in lane 6, Tori Atkinson. So, Ethan, do you think we just have more to expect? More Tufts winning today, or do you think we could possibly see a change here?
We're going to continue to see Tufts' dominance. They've really flexed their muscles today, shown that they have the depth to really dominate in all of these events.
Something that's always interesting to see is how Tufts currently has 2 out of 3 freshmen who are racing in this race as they take their marks. And they're off.
Yeah, it looks like mostly today Tufts has used the first heat as one for the more inexperienced swimmers like the freshmen, and giving them a chance at what it really feels like to be competing.
Of course, we are starting with the butterfly today, and then going to the backstroke, breaststroke, and then freestyle. As we see the current winner here in lane 4, Abby Klaus, with a pretty resounding lead, followed by Chloe Davini, the freshman, in second. As you can see, just about everybody trying to cheer on these swimmers around the pool here. It's always tough trying to do these 4 strokes, of course. As many swimmers are masters of even 1 or 2, it's hard to do all 4.
It hasn't been at all unusual for Tufts to be in the lead, but especially in Heat 1 of these events, there's just a great separation between the Tufts swimmers and the swimmers from Wheaton.
And here, as we move to the backstroke, you have Abby Klaus still in first, Chloe Davini in second. And in third, I believe, in lane 1, that's going to be Leah Schulte. Abby Klaus, the record holder here in the 400 individual medley relay at the NCAAs in 2019. So we're going to see if she's going to break her record here today or come close to it. But either way, we're in for a fast race here. And the race continues with the backstroke here as they look to turn. As Abby Klaus just keeps increasing and increasing her lead, as you have that turn moving into the breaststroke, as everybody's cheering, trying to cheer on their teammates, trying to make everyone go as fast as they possibly can.
Again, here we're seeing big chance of go whenever the leader, Abby Klaus, lifts her head out of the water.
And you could just see how long she kept her head under the wire there. Probably the longest we've heard nobody cheering so far today.
In breaststroke, you really see how important that streamline is, and Abby is showing why she's one of the best.
See her making it more than a third of the way through the pool, just underwater. Very impressive. not to discount the Wheaton swimmers here. Specifically in lane 1, Leah Schulte, and in lane 3, Erin Keene. Both doing relatively well, but it's hard to compete when you're competing against the number 6 ranked team in the nation and for Division 3. As you see her turning here, moving into that freestyle, of course the fastest of the strokes arguably. As you can see, Klaus just increasing her lead here as the race goes on, doing that flip turn well. Not able to stay underwater as well as she did in the other strokes, but still doing relatively well. And staying underwater for longer than her competitors for sure.
Not much of a competition here. Lots of separation between every one of the swimmers. Granted, there are only 4 of them. For whatever reason, lanes 5 and 6 were pulled.
And in lane 1 and 3, there is a close battle for third between the 2 Wheaton swimmers. So Leah Schulte and Erin Keene still battling. But it appears that Abby Klaus is gaining a substantial lead currently. And that appears to be the race.
Yes.
With Abby Klaus first in 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Getting the win here. And in second place, we have Chloe Davini, the freshman from Tufts. Always great to see those freshmen coming in and doing well at the college level. And coming in third place, the freshman from Wheaton, Leah Schulte. And in fourth, Erin Keene from Wheaton. So coming up, we have the men's 400-yard IM, as we're looking for a relatively competitive race today between Wheaton and Tufts. In lane number 1, Noah Kaplan. In lane number 2, from Tufts, John Koster. In lane 3, we have Colton Parkinson. In lane 4, Michael Gregoris. In lane 5, Troy Ekman. And in lane 6, Sebastian Kai. As you can hear the Let's Go Jumbos chant from their Jumbo teammates, who of course are very excited to cheer these guys on.
Yes, time to see which male swimmer possesses skills in all the strokes.
As they get up on the starting block, take their marks, and they're off. And it appears we have a very close race for first right now.
We'll be looking at that turn.
As the 3 Jumbo swimmers are currently almost tied for first place.
Almost immediately, we're seeing separation between the Jumbo swimmers and those of Wheaton.
Tufts currently is ranked number 13 nationally in D3. So you can just see that kind of dominance they have across the board, across all these events. Some teams, of course, only are skilled in certain events, but Tufts definitely has that range to dominate most teams they come up against.
And for the IM here, you're definitely seeing skills in all those events, and Tufts is showing why they are one of the best.
And something we want to point out here is lane 2, John Koster from Tufts, able to stay underwater. Of course, we've been talking about how staying underwater is the key to some of these races. But you could see him do it exceptionally well. But currently leading, Michael Gregoris, the sophomore from Tufts.
Followed by Sebastian Kai in lane 6, who just turns right before the swimmer in third place in lane 2, John Costa.
As you see with that turn, able to go almost to the side of the lane at first, trying to use that peak efficiency of the lane, not necessarily in the center.
Michael Gregoris with a pretty substantial lead here, but we'll see what happens in this second half of the race as they have to do breaststroke and freestyle.
It appears that there is a possible challenger for that third place from Wheaton in lane 3. Colton Parkinson, the freshman, could possibly be trying to make up that comeback to gain third place here and get some more points for Wheaton today.
He has been one of the more notable Wheaton performers today for sure.
And of course in lane 6, Sebastian Kai, the freshman, trying to hold them off and is able to do so, and appears to be gaining more of a lead as the race goes on. But of course still here in first place by a solid margin, Michael Gregoris. As you do hear those cheers every time those swimmers exit the water, of course, during that breaststroke. Always adds a little excitement to the race.
Coster with a slight edge on Kai for second place, both of whom are gaining ground. Well, no, I'm sorry. Both of whom are extending their lead over the Wheaton swimmer Colton Parkinson in lane 3.
But Coster does appear to have a slight lead and appears to be gaining that lead, even though Kai has made up some ground over the course of this race. But here we move to the freestyle, and you could just see how much Michael Gregoris is able to increase his lead here.
All of the swimmers giving it everything they've got, putting lots of energy into this final quarter of the race.
Of course, almost everybody's favorite part of the race, the part where everything gets tense, because you know they're so close to the finish yet have so far to go. As it appears, Kai is actually making up ground over Coster. A surprise from the freshman. But I believe that is going to be the end of the race. And the win for Michael Gregoris, the sophomore from Tufts.
With a time of 4:13.59, he is followed by Sebastian Kai in lane 6 with a time of 4:24.10, and in lane 3, John Coster in lane 2, third place, John Coster with a time of 4:27.03.
And in lane 3, the first finisher from Wheaton, Colton Parkinson, the freshman. Followed by lane 5, Troy Ekman, and Noah Kaplan for 6th place. But now we have some of the most exciting events of the day, the 200-yard freestyle relay, where of course you have 4 swimmers doing 50 yards each, where each of them are sprinting as fast as their lungs and arms can take them. But everybody's excited here. People are angsty. There's a tension in the air, you can feel it.
You won't see a lot of breathing in this relay.
No, you will not. It will practically be a anaerobic sprint for most of these swimmers. We're, of course, very antsy to get up. Ethan, one thing I always notice the swimmers is their sort of warm-up. They always try and slap themselves. Do you think there's any truth to that, or do you think that's just superstition?
I don't really know what it is, but I think it typically comes from just moving my arms, getting loose.
And here is the start of the race. Of course, we're going to be watching lanes 3 and 4, the 8 teams for both Tufts and Wheaton. Because, of course, the meet is practically decided for Tufts already. But right now, it's just about pride.
Right now, we have Ann Younger, the sophomore, in the A relay in lane 4, finishing up that first 50, giving way to the freshman Elle Morse. We saw in second place in lane 2, Mary Huffziger get out to that strong start for the junior Sasha Fong.
Also, another point of pride is possibly for Tufts, those B and C teams in lane 2 and 6, possibly trying to beat that A team here. It always feels good when you are the lower ranked team, but you still end up winning. Just gives more pride to yourself.
Caitlin Ulmer sort of extending that lead, getting a body length on the relay in lane 2, but lane 6 starting to catch up. That C relay there.
Another strength of these jumbos is just how good those starts can be. Not only getting out far and staying underwater for as long as they can after that dive, but making sure that everything is safe and legal, as one of the most annoying ways to lose a race is winning in real time but losing based on DQ.
Brooke Bernstein, the senior, finishes the relay and secures first place for the A relay with a time of 1:39.54.
As not quite the school record here, which is a 1:36, but a fairly good race regardless.
The C relay managed to pass the B relay, so the C relay got a time of 1:41.26, and the B relay in lane 2 got a time of 1:55.29.
And now we have the men's race, also most likely decided between the 13th ranked Tufts and the unranked Wheaton. But it is going to be a relatively close race, and a competitive one at that, as both teams are competing for bragging rights over the other.
Right now in the respective A relays, we have JJ Bott rising to lead off the Tufts A relay, and in lane 3, Ethan Bosworth, a freshman from Wheaton.
Ethan, is there any strategy to how you place your swimmers, in your opinion, in terms of who gets first and who gets second, or third and fourth, respectively?
I think typically you'll have the fastest person go last. And there are relay starts that you have to consider. Maybe somebody who's not as strong at relay starts would go first, since they're just doing a normal start from the stop. Again, these relay splits, if you're doing a relay start and not leading off, are going to be faster than a time that you would get from leading off or being in the 50 free.
Interesting, but this is the most competitive race we've seen between Tufts and Wheaton so far. Very close, but Tufts appears to be lengthening their lead in lane 4 with their A team. But lane 3, Wheaton's A team, is very close behind, making up a little bit of ground on that turn. A little bit of water, excuse me.
We have the anchor Noah Zhang take off, trying to protect that narrow lead over the swimmer in lane 3 for Wheaton, Richard Matthews, the sophomore.
But will appear to take it as that lead keeps lengthening. And that will be the win for Tufts today. A great way to end the meet. And they win that in 1 minute and 27 seconds, .25. With second place, Wheaton in lane 3, their A team, 1 minute and 29 seconds, .06. Of course, a great end to the meet. We'd like to thank you for coming out today and listening to us and watching us in this great meet between Tufts and Wheaton. We do have a basketball game between Tufts and Amherst at the JumboCast website at 3 o'clock today that we would love you to turn into if you can. This has been Cougar Hansen.
This has been Ethan Grublich.
And thank you for watching.